Every shadow holds a story. Every story hides a haunting truth. If it chills, bewilders, or keeps you up at night, you'll find it here. Step into the darkness with us and dare to listen to the Ghost Encounters podcast. Welcome back, all you spooky people, to the Ghost Encounters podcast. I am paranormal investigator Justin Torok.
And I'm Jordan, the group scientist.
I'm Hannah, your death-obsessed bestie.
Before we get into this episode, we have to talk about our investigation episode on YouTube from the Hanoverville Roadhouse. How awesome was that?
It was a
great.
really good episode.
Yeah.
We had a whole premiere party at the Hanoverville Roadhouse, so people got to see the episode first, before anyone else, in the place that we investigated. And Mark, the owner, did a fantastic job renovating that place. He calls it the Boyd Room because he has all Boyd memorabilia. Those of you who are not from our area, the Boyd is a really old movie theater that they have now torn down.
It's apartments now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I went to...
None of it's even the same.
I went to Paris Baguette, and I was like, there's the Boyd, and it's like luxury condos.
Yeah, it's sad, but he kept all of that, a lot of like memorabilia from that place, and now he has a projector and a screen, so it was really cool to be in that private room.
I think this was like the maiden voyage.
It was. We were the first ones to use the room for that purpose.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Yeah, it was super cool in there.
We had a packed house. It was awesome, but the episode is fantastic. I mean, the amount of paranormal evidence that we caught on this last episode is astronomical, and the fact they're pretty much all intelligent.
Yeah, it was crazy, and we had like so many to go through.
Yeah, there was a lot.
There's more visual apparitions.
Yes,
True,
even
that's
called
true.
a partial apparition. So if you haven't yet, you need to go to our website, which you can get to our YouTube channel from there, or go right to our YouTube channel if you're already a subscriber, and watch the last investigation episode of the Hanoverville Roadhouse, because it will blow your mind. It is spooktacular.
Yeah. I guess I can't like go around saying, "Oh, nothing ever happens to me anymore."
Yeah, no,
because I got
you said that for so long, and now here we are.
And I got some good.
They
some good
said your
stuff.
freaking name.
They did,
and they tugged you. And something was tossed behind you.
Yep. I reached out and I gripped the other side.
Yes, you did. You gripped them ghosts.
And one exciting thing is that when the really loud bang happened, I didn't run.
Yeah,
You did not
true.
run. It wasn't as loud as others.
Yeah.
Like the others were like bang bangs. This was more like a, I don't know, it sounded like a tiny rock or a pebble.
Yeah.
But the other ones were freaking loud.
Not like the one when we were doing the in-person. Oh my god,
at Sleepy Cat.
That was so loud.
So loud.
I was actually traumatized. I grabbed Carrie. I was like, "We're going down."
No, I was shitting my pants over that. And who was Fritz? Was his name Fritz?
Yeah.
He was like, "We're going toward the sound." I was like,
he got up out of that seat so fast. He's like, "What was that?"
I love it because like he didn't hear a lot of the other stuff, but then when that happened, he goes, "Heard that."
It's like,
that was great. We are doing another group investigation at Sleepy Cat, but this episode is going to come out after we already do that. But I know there's going to be plenty more, so if you're in the area, keep watching our social media for when we're going to do other group investigations, because they're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But this last episode, seriously, it was so cool.
It was probably one of our best so far.
It was. I mean, they get better every time. I say every time that they get better every time. And they do. They get better every time.
But one of the funniest is I was in a different room trying to get contact, and these two ladies were whispering to each other like, "Hey,
the roast."
Because I was in a room full of like fake skeletons for Halloween stuff. They're like, "Hey, if you were a ghost, would you move one of those skeletons to scare him?" They're like, "Absolutely, to scare him." And they all start laughing. And all of a sudden, Jordan's K2 meter goes off. So Jordan knows that something's right there. She's like, "Yeah, go and scare him." And then all of a sudden, at the same exact time that happens, an orb flies across the camera. The spirit says gladly, and then it sets off the REM pod in an attempt to scare me. It was a really cool chain of events.
It was so cool.
It scared all of us, honestly.
I know, and then there's me. I'm just like, "Oh shoot, oh shoot."
I kind of appreciated the bleeps. You like bleeped us. Partly, I think it's funnier.
It is a little funnier.
Like the bleeps crack me up. But I was like, oh man, my mom's gonna see this. She's gonna know. They're all gonna know.
I have to bleep them out because I was on the news the next day, and
Oh, no.
I picked out some of those parts. I'm like, I can't leave curse words. They're not going to use it, so I bleeped some of them out.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's awesome. You got to go watch it. But let's get into this podcast episode. I know we talked about this a little bit in other podcast episodes. But now we're going to deep dive into this a bit. This was a great idea from Jordan, from our list of podcast ideas. But in the Victorian era, death was, for most, a part of life. Because in this time, they didn't shy away from death. They literally invited it in and made it an art form. They laid it out in their homes, dressed it, made keepsakes, and even took photographs. On this episode, we're uncovering the strange beauty and haunting customs of Victorian death culture. And we are back, and we're going to have the amazing Hannah take it away.
Hannah Banana.
Okay. I was very excited for this topic because I'm already a major enjoyer of this shit.
Yes, you are.
Like, my flavor of millennial cringe is that I really go in for, like, the Victorian death stuff. I have a morning hand tattooed on me. I, like, purchase morning jewelry on purpose and wear it. Because there's... I wear it. I love it. And I want people to ask me about it, and then they ask me about it, and I'm just like, oh no. This is going to go back in there. But there's something about the Victorian death obsession just, like, draws me. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I like to laugh at, like, Victorians for being stuffy and weird as much as anybody. But sometimes I read about, like, the symbolism behind what would now be, like, just patently ghoulish behavior. And it kind of clarifies for me as this very strikingly intimate form of care for the dead person.
Yeah.
And it also kind of draws into sharper focus how divorced we are from death and death care now, just societally.
I wonder why that happened.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. As Americans in 2025, death is something that happens in hospitals, and our loved ones are prepared for eternity by degreed professionals who are competent, of course, but who will have never probably known that person in life. In the Victorian era, however, death and funerals were very, very much a domestic affair. Mm-hmm. Picture with me, if you will. The year is 1870. Horse-drawn carriages rattle by down cobblestone streets, and an unwashed child sells newspapers on a street corner to a man in a top hat. The sky is hazy with the smog of rapid industrialization, and there is a dead body on display in the parlor. Inside, curtains are drawn, mirrors are draped, and the clocks are stopped. There is a plate of funeral biscuits sitting abandoned on the sideboard. Neighbors slip in wearing black crepe, and children are told to shut the fuck up. A hired layer out has already combed the hair and closed the jaw of the corpse, and the dead are at home, literally waiting in the fanciest room in the house to receive their family and friends one last time. For most of the 19th century, almost every aspect of death happened at home. That is, final illness at home, dying at home, washing and preparing the body at home. Then a wake or a viewing in the front parlor, the stuffiest, least used room in the house. Think wallpaper with big cabbage roses, doilies, and the sofa that your ass is going to get beat if you sit on. The body is placed... Yes? Do we have that?
Sorry, I'm just laughing.
I'm like, please interject. I feel like I'm doing all the talking.
No, you're doing such a great job in painting a picture that I'm so thoroughly entertained. I did have a quick thought, because like the skeptics are always like, why don't you go to new houses and you do? Why is it always like an old creepy house? Because of this shit.
Yeah.
Because this is where people fucking die. People don't die at home anymore unless there's a murder, or
unless they choose to die at home.
To die at home, or unless they literally were old and were not in hospice. But most of the time back then, you died at home.
Yeah.
That's why those houses are haunted.
Yep. It's, yeah.
Didn't mean to interrupt, but you...
No, that's good.
You painted a lovely dark picture of the Victorian era.
Thank you very much. I just love the Victorian shit. I love that shit. I love the top hats. I love the fucking bustle dresses. I love the fucking arsenic in the wallpaper. Like, fuck me up, man. That's great. I love it. Where was I? I would dress like this. I would dress like this if people wouldn't ostracize me.
I would dress like that.
Yeah.
I would never dress in the Victorian era.
Oh, come on. That's the best
I'm not
clothing.
wearing fucking layers upon layers. I already sweat. I'm sweating in my leggings. I'm not fucking putting on all them layers. No, you guys are on your own.
I don't know. I like dress up and go to the Ren Fair and shit. I'm worth it.
Yeah, but that's different. It's not 50 layers. They wear layers.
Well, I mean, depending on whatever costume. Like, I had the...
Absolutely not. And also, rent fairs in the summer. I'd fucking die.
All right, so you're going to get beat if you sit on the parlor sofa, but the body that you're here to view is usually placed in a coffin or on a cooling board, which is literally like a little folding table that is slightly not level so that things drain off because corpses leak. And there's ice underneath in the cooling board, hence the cooling, to minimize the leaking. The parlor is the room where you put your best foot forward. Either you put your best foot forward or you're showing off to the neighbors. We're keeping up with the Joneses. And this is where the family would receive callers. So naturally, you receive them in the same room for the final goodbye. This is where this is where we keep Mom's best tea set and also Aunt Dora's. All right, and as a matter of fact, the word parlor comes from the word parler, which means to talk. But I feel like, in the case, like if Aunt Dora sits up during her wake, everybody's gonna have their mellow kind of harshed. And there were, it wasn't just in the parlor. There were a number of different rituals that Victorian families would do. For example, like there were a lot of flowers. Just overdoing it on the flowers. Victorian. And this
we still do that today.
Yeah.
We don't want to smell the dead people, though.
Yeah, that's probably
maybe that's why.
The flowers were both decorative and practical because you don't want to you don't want to smell.
They didn't got that Febreze back then.
Yeah, that's true.
And they could do the whole thing where you're like, you got cloves, but flowers are just nicer.
Yeah,
you're looking at lilies and you're not thinking about death. And I saw, when I was reading, like a lot of the stuff talks about Victorian flower symbolism and lilies and roses, and I didn't read too much about that. But when I was looking at Beyond the Dark Veil, because I read a little bit of Beyond the Dark Veil.
This book right here.
We're going to get into this later.
Yes.
Such a pretty book.
It's so pretty, and it made me so sad. But they talk a lot about geranium leaves, which I had never heard before. They talked a lot about geranium leaves being particularly aromatic and also symbolic of...
What's a geranium leaf?
Something.
I don't know.
Geranium leaves?
Why does it sound familiar?
Well, geraniums are those those red flowers that your grandma's got on her porch. I don't know. Geraniums are around.
I'm going to look it up real quick because I'm so curious.
Yeah, look it up.
Being the group scientist and all, I must know all.
This is just flowers. I don't know. But, that's apparently another common one that I didn't know about. And another thing that I didn't really know about was funeral biscuits. Because I was like, so what do you, do the neighbors bring a casserole?
I see.
Yeah, you found the geraniums.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
I didn't even know they smelled.
Yeah, they're very stinky, I guess.
That's so cool. I had no idea.
Yeah, stinky leaves to cover up the corpse smell. The smell of all the things leaking off your cooling table. I'm sorry. This is supposed to be dignified. People
No, it's not. Our listeners and viewers know this is not dignified.
Funeral biscuits.
Yes.
Sorry, funeral biscuits.
Yeah. Typically, a funeral biscuit was like a little sugar cookie or something, and it would be printed with an urn or a skull and given a little black border. It was kind of like a souvenir. Like a little edible souvenir.
Okay, I want this at my funeral.
I know, I want that too.
If I die before y'all, make sure goddamn funeral biscuits are there.
Yeah.
You want a skull or what do you want on it?
Anything? Maybe a skull and crossbones.
Hell yeah.
Okay, there we go.
But like here she lays dead.
Putting in the will. That's but it's very like a lot of the funeral rules or the like little manner etiquette things that you would have to do for a Victorian funeral. It all reads as very like baby shower or bridal shower to me.
It does.
It does, yeah.
Like you get your little baggie full of cookies and it's got like the name printed on it.
I kind of like it because like you're like celebrating death instead of like it's giving you the option to mourn, but it's also giving you a chance to celebrate somebody's life.
Right.
Eat like a cookie.
Which is it's everybody comes together and
you know.
I like it.
There's
Funerals are sad.
Yeah.
Like in our day and age, they're just like, here you go, watch the person get buried.
Yeah.
And then
sad.
usually like a big feast afterwards. It's like so sad and awkward.
Yeah, it's super weird.
It's like I can't properly enjoy my city chicken.
I'd rather just get a nice cookie and go.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the whole
So
big like let's get together and eat fucking pulled pork and act like it's a picnic is weird after you just watch somebody bury your grandfather.
Yeah, seriously.
It's kind of weird.
After that, I would need the fucking pulled pork. I love
Everyone gets a beverage at my
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
That's
Whiskey shots all around.
That's what we did at Pub-Ups.
hell yeah.
Hollinger's.
We brought the beer right to the graveyard.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
The
We
cemetery.
literally were drinking in the cemetery.
Hell yeah. That sounds like a Saturday night, man. I'm up for that.
And the Stella Artois.
That's right. That's what he
Stella
likes.
Artois.
Yes. All
What
right.
else we got, Hannah?
Lots of everyday regular people were very DIY about their death care in the Victorian era. In most communities, women handled the laying out of the dead. That would cover washing them, dressing them, arranging them, and even sometimes cosmetic work. And these were often experienced neighbors or semi-professional layers out who would, prep your... If you couldn't handle, prepping your spouse or your loved one in the parlor, you could have, your neighbor do it. But I find that kind of empowering as far as, gender roles go. I could do this, I think. You never know until you're sitting there with it.
Right.
I don't know
if I could.
I don't think I could.
I could do it.
I think I could do it. That's my hubris.
I don't know.
Hubris is I think I could prepare someone for death when I am a photographer. But just like now, dead folks would be dressed up in their best or their favorite clothing. Mm-hmm. They might additionally be wrapped in a shroud, depending on what the facial situation was. Infants were often wrapped in white. Adults were put in darker, more sober colors. Hands would be folded, very demure, very mindful. That's a very dead meme. Occasionally...
Sorry, I had to sneeze so bad.
That's okay.
I try not to sneeze in the microphone, so sorry if you heard me sneeze.
I didn't hear anything.
I was focused with her saying demure for a
Yes,
dead person.
I did say that.
That's funny.
A dead meme. Sometimes between the folded hands, a favorite object was tucked in there. A book, a rosary, a pipe. I saw a couple photos in Beyond the Dark Veil where children, don't read that book if you're a parent.
Yeah. A lot of dead kids in there.
Too unfortunate.
It's mostly dead kids.
Yeah, dude. God damn. I got off track.
Science.
But some of the kids had photos of their parents with them tucked into their little hands.
That is super sad.
Yeah.
And
we are
there's
going to get
one-
more in depth into the photography portion
Justin.
in my section.
I got
there's a
really enthused and I started
very, very interesting custom back then.
for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to explain any more of that. Some people who were doing, your at-home funeral care, would even have at-home funeral gear, such as, previously discussed cooling boards. They would have a winding sheet, and some places even had rentable coffins with a lift-out washable liner, or the little baggies that you can buy to put the inside.
Reusable coffin?
Yeah. That's actually not uncommon.
I mean, there was a lot of death back then, so...
Yeah, and shit was expensive. It was hard to make. It was hard to find, and for something as possibly ornate as a coffin, you might not want to just put that in the ground to never be seen again and or rot away. Yeah. And why? I guess the larger theme here is why did funerals leave the home?
Right.
But the short answer here is capitalism. Just like any... Yeah. It's like, why were they renting out the coffins? Capitalism. Just like any modern commodification of something that once carried meaning.
Yeah.
Urbanization has shrunk housing, so houses are smaller. You don't necessarily have a parlor. You might rent your home. You might share a home. Sanitation fears grow as people are stacked one upon the other. You don't want somebody's rotting corpse downstairs. That would, I mean, if your family's used to it, that's one thing, but like the guy upstairs would probably not appreciate that.
I would.
Justin would. I have never smelled a corpse.
You walked in on a corpse.
Yeah, but I didn't smell him.
Wonder how long it takes for them to smell.
I don't know. He'd been a couple of days. He was very purple.
Is it like a different? I've never seen or been around a dead person before, other than at funerals where they're already embalmed. But like, could it have like a similar smell to like roadkill?
I would think.
Probably.
But
I've been around that, so I guess I have an idea.
I've been told that like once you smell a human body, though, like you don't forget that smell.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even hazard a guess.
We had this dude come in. He was like one of the only people on the East Coast that like picked up roadkill and like tested it for rabies and all this other shit. And he came in on our medical parasitology class and he just pulled a big ass cooler out of his butt and opened it and a fucking coyote was in there.
Oh my god.
And I'm
damn.
I left after a couple. I could not stand it.
Oh, no.
The windows weren't open. We were in like a regular university, like, you know, lab room. And when he opened the fucking goose and he tore out the stomach of the goose and it made that sound. In the movies, they have it right, people. That's exactly how it sounds. Because it's breaking those membranes, and I'll never forget the smell of these animals. Like, it was terrible.
Hot damn.
He was like, I tried to get fresh ones for you. And I'm like, oh my god. Like, it was horrible. So
I can't imagine a full-on dead person. Especially in a house. And all you got is some ice underneath you.
Yeah.
Like...
Because animals have fur and other stuff, so they may smell a little bit more earthy, but people, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
People do.
I'm not Dahmer. I don't know that kind of shit.
Yeah, I don't know. Where was I? The American Civil War also accelerated embalming techniques. They were transporting soldiers home, dead soldiers home after the Civil War, in addition to later taking Abraham Lincoln's embalmed body, on a like multi-city viewing tour.
That's right.
Yeah, this was like a very very famous thing. Yeah, and after he had been assassinated, and he'd been so embalmed so well that people were impressed, and it became like fashionable and desirable to be embalmed. This ushers in the funeral parlor as a concept. We've got specifically built rooms that imitate kind of the parlor at home, where you've got like the drapes and the palms and like this atmosphere of fashionable gloom. And it's like, it's all marketing, you know. We make it feel like you're home, but you don't have to like get 40 chairs or dust all your knickknacks.
Right.
And man, this whole thing, like, we're talking about 40 chairs and the little monogram cookies, and I'm like, why is this all like triggering wedding planning shit? It all feels like wedding planning now, and I'm like, I've had enough.
Full circle, even in death.
Yeah,
it always does. But as death now is leaving the home, the parlor slowly becomes the living room, which is this very unsubtle cultural shift, and a little bit of a turn of the century like home design PR. So even if it didn't just like come full circle for fucking, you know, wedding shit, it came full circle in fucking real estate.
Right.
It's always one or the other. But the idea is basically this is a room for daily life. You're hanging out in here. You're not just like bringing in your family to show off your shit or your dead person. Like magazines and furniture makers tend to lean into the bright, the healthy, the everyday branding for what was once the death room. It's this tiny little linguistic signal, because the dead are not welcome at home anymore. And with the rise of the funeral industry, it didn't necessarily end the performance of death care and funeral planning, but it just kind of outsourced it. So now professionals handle the look, the smell, the logistics, and grief becomes more private and less of a public performance. At least for, the middle class urban family. Because, rural people, if you don't have the money, you're still, you're dressing your person, you're laying them out at home. So homogeneity wins again, I guess. Thank you very much, capitalism. And personally, I have already said, oh yeah, I think I could do this. I could lay out a dead person, no sweat. And that's, that's the hubris talking. Of course, I can't say whether I would, in that actual situation, who knows whether I'd fucking be able to hack it. How would anybody know, But I do kind of have to wonder if this, it doesn't just indicate the passage of time, but also kind of a shift in values. The Victorian kept death in the front of the house, but today we keep it mostly out of sight and out of mind. It may be a different century, and we might have changed the choreography of it, but everybody's still, it's the same old ending, really. Everybody dies.
Just in a different location.
Yeah, we're all gonna die, but now you gotta do it, in a hospital. You die in a hospital, and then... Okay, I'm done.
That was a depressing end note.
Sorry. Sorry, everybody.
All right, let's collect our thoughts. I'm going to take a quick break, and when we get back, Jordan, you're up next.
My 5 minutes of fame.
And we are back. All right, so question for you two ladies. What would you prefer? The traditional Victorian way of having the funeral in your own home, or doing it in today's customs, which is at an actual funeral home out of the house?
Do you really want to know what I want?
Yes, I want to know what unhinged thing Hannah wants.
No, okay, it's not really even an unhinged thing. There's one place in the United States where you can be burned on a pyre, like on a funeral pyre, and I think really my dream funeral is that. It's in Colorado. There's a place, a small company. It's this woman and her husband, and they do a mobile funeral pyre where there's one town in Colorado where you're actually allowed to do this. And you have to be a resident of this town, but they'll take out their mobile pyre and they'll put you on there with a bunch of juniper branches that smell really good, and they will burn you like the heathen kings of old.
I love that.
Yeah, and I'm in my ideal world, we'd be allowed to do that, and it wouldn't light the entire West Coast on fire. But that's what I would like.
Now
I wouldn't
you light off a firework and there's a whole forest fire.
Yeah. So perfect world, I would like to do it like that. It wouldn't necessarily be in anybody's house or in, a funeral parlor.
Outside, bonfire of Hannah.
Yeah,
okay.
Just fucking light me up, man.
I like it.
I don't really want anybody to see me dead. So, in my opinion, maybe my family, but I want to be made into coral and put in the ocean for animals to eat me.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's one thing that I've always wanted to do. And I'm talking put me in the most unhinged spot where the biggest great white sharks are or something. Some cool place where I can just be dead in this coral and hopefully see sharks for the first time, because I've never seen them other than in the aquarium. So
you want to be a whale fall?
Yeah, I want to be something. Eat me.
Yeah,
eat me.
There are some places...
I want to be fish food. I want to be in the ocean.
Specifically for the sharks.
Yes. Because
I know
you can just throw my body in there and let the sharks eat me. That's fine, too.
There are places that'll do it with, birds. You can have a sky burial.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different options now.
Yeah.
It would be cool if when I die, if I were to die before my family and they want to see me dead, go ahead. Kudos to you. You guys want to see me dead. But then after that, do what I want. Yeah. Get rid of me in the way I want to be get rid of.
Respect the dead's wishes.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you want?
I I don't know. I've been to a lot of funerals. I don't like the whole seeing the dead body thing and all that.
Yeah, the viewing is.
If my immediate people want to say their goodbyes, fine. But wherever I'm dead, do it wherever I'm dead. Want to say your goodbyes, do it where I died. And then I don't know. I think burn me up, cremate me, put me in a fireworks, and I can light up your life one more time.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, I'm into, like, if after I die and everything's said and done for me, I would definitely want my friends and family to have, like, a huge-ass fucking rager.
Yes.
Just get belligerent, drunk, piss your pants drunk.
I think I'm going to give my favorite people some of my ashes, and you can put it into a vial. You can do whatever you want with it.
Do a Keith Richards and
have a fucking raging party.
Yeah, absolutely a banger.
Have my favorite drink and celebrate my life. And bring a Ouija board. Who knows? Maybe they'll all come say hi.
Yeah.
Justin will show up to his own funeral.
There we go.
I can dig it. I like that. Everybody's got great ideas.
Yeah, we do.
You listeners, let us know. What do you want? Do you want something unique?
Yeah.
Or do you want to stick to traditional customs of today? Or do you have something completely wild in mind that you would like to be done? Let us know.
Comment your dream funeral.
While you're doing that, Jordan, let's get into your section, because I'm really excited to hear about these superstition things. I feel like I probably don't know some of them.
As always, Hannah blew it out of the fucking park, and I had to tell her to stop talking.
Sorry. I'm fucking so sorry.
My
I just got
5 minutes of fame.
enthusiastic.
Literally, this is the shortest podcast that Jordan's going to speak on.
No,
it is so tiny. I had such a bitch of a time trying to... It was my idea, okay? Let's just preface that. It's my idea, but I could not find good sources for what I wanted to talk about, because it's very vague. There's not really...
hard.
It's to the point.
It's a hard one to read.
Well, let's go over it, and then we'll put in our 2 cents.
Yeah,
and then
you guys
talk about
may
it.
have a lot more to say than I do. Okay, so I decided to do personal mementos and superstitions. So in addition to a photograph, which Justin will be talking about soon, or even before photographs were able to be taken, some families also created mementos using loved ones' hair, which I didn't know about until we decided to talk about topics.
I love hair work.
It's interesting.
There's still people, there are quite a few people who still do hair work. Online.
I think I've seen, I know my one family friend, Megan Galley, she has a lock of her aunt's or somebody's hair. I can't remember if it's her aunt or her grandma. It's in a picture frame at our house.
Yeah, some people do it with pet hair.
I've seen that with pet hair.
Paige has our cat's hair in our house. William. May he rest in peace.
But speaking of pet hair, shout out to Maggie for making some of the most creepiest artwork I've ever seen in my life.
It.
She sold all 3 pieces at this art show. She made 3 art pieces of these horrifying creature faces out of her own pet's hair.
It's so cool.
I didn't know was that Marx's hair or all pets?
Marx and cats. I'm going to show you and get your reaction.
No, I saw them. I couldn't go to the show because I was fucking flea cleaning my house.
Oh no, not the fleas.
But horrifyingly beautiful.
Yeah, they are really
But it
top
reminded me of that.
Fucking top notch.
Yeah. So they artfully arrange their loved one's hair in shadow boxes, wreaths, which I thought was fascinating, fabrics, corsages, and in particular jewelry. Women were not allowed to wear jewelry other than jet black gemstones during deep mourning, but they often wore a jewelry memento afterwards. So with the hair in it and everything.
So are you talking about are they making a bracelet out of someone's hair?
Yeah. And wreaths, they'll have these things hanging or whatever, and it'll have incorporated their hair and stuff.
Yeah, they'll make little flowers out of it.
Yeah,
it's into little flowers, and little curly cues. Sometimes they'll just have it tied in a little ribbon and put it in a little locket or something.
Yeah.
It's obviously for bulb.
Truly.
The fabrics one, I was you showing that shit into your clothes? What do you mean? What do you mean? Is it in your couches? I don't know. They didn't really specify, so I was that one's weird.
Maybe pillows, if you wanted to embroider on a pillow with...
That's weird to me. That one's a little funky.
Yeah, now it's getting a little strange.
Everyone's so creative.
But I didn't know that there was a limit to what went in the Victorian era, what women were allowed to wear jewelry-wise, gemstones.
I didn't know
that.
There were for widows and widowers specifically, there were a lot of different rules. I didn't put any down because I was maybe because I didn't want to shit on Jordan's section.
my 5 seconds of fame.
But there was mourning. There was wearing half mourning. There was you had to wear full mourning for like a year. Then you had to wear all black. You couldn't wear jewelry unless that jewelry was also black. And then you could,
they had definitely structure.
It was all very like a class signaling thing. It was mostly for wealthy people, where they would all like judge each other for not being in mourning for the correct amount of time. It was very stuffy. Victorians are very fucking stuffy about it. But after a certain amount of time, you could like phase in like a dark blue or a mauve. But until then, it was like here's a lot of rules. And then there were like different rules for different family members. Like if your mother died, you had to wear black for this amount of time. Versus if your husband or your wife died, you had to wear black for this amount of time. It was all very different. So it was
which is super
a lot of fucking rules. Like,
super interesting.
And this is like pre-internet, so like you can't even fucking Google what the rules are.
It was social rules.
It was just embedded in the culture. Like you just knew.
Yeah, like where's the list? I need to read a list. But continue, I'm sorry.
Okay, I was like, so I thought this was pretty cool. Queen Victoria was also known to wear a locket that contained a picture of Prince Albert and a lock of his hair, which you just talked about a little bit ago, Hannah. This may seem like an unusual practice for us now, but we actually do something quite similar. We do like a memorial and cremation jewelry. Like, I don't know if you guys... People do it for their animals a lot. Well, they'll send it in and then they'll make it into like a crystal or something really, really cool.
Doesn't Jeff have a tattoo with his grandfather's ashes?
Yeah, so it's amazing he's not haunted. His body is made of dead people and their ashes. Like all of his grandparents and stuff, he has incorporated their ashes in. I'm like, is that sanitary?
Well, when somebody's cremated, there's nothing like organic left. It's all just carbon.
It freaks me out a little bit.
I get it, yeah.
I'll be honest.
But that's a cool, like, new age way
he took it and
do
put a spin
like
on
this.
it himself. Yeah, it was funny. He came home with his grandfather's ashes in like this tiny little like it looked like a little like thing that you would take fishing, and they put him in there. And Jeff took it to the tattoo shop like that. Dude, their family's funny.
I love it.
Yeah, they're definitely one of a kind. Instead of hair, we place a portion of a loved one's ashes in jewelry and wear it in their memory. Like I said, with like specifically, I know that we do it more with like pets. But I know some people like we take thumbprints and stuff like that. So you use a little bit of everybody.
Yeah.
In certain ways. So it's like the basic idea. During this time, people were spiritual and believed in the supernatural, which that's the only cool thing about the Victorian era, in my opinion.
Like pretty much
they were very open.
Everyone believed in the supernatural.
Yeah.
Everyone believed in ghosts. Like it was just a thing.
Just part of life.
The doom and gloom is where you get me.
I mean, they were surrounded by death. So.
Yeah.
You don't have like penicillin and shit.
Yeah.
Everybody's just dying of the consumption.
Because of this viewpoint, there were a number of superstitions surrounding death. I have like a list of them. Victorians carried the deceased out of the home feet first, so they couldn't look back and call someone else to follow them. Which is eerie.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know why. I knew that they did that, but I didn't know why. So I like that they kind of kept it short for me and didn't make it a redundantly long sentence as to why. Curtains were closed and mirrors were covered until after the funeral so that the deceased's image wouldn't get trapped in the looking glass.
There you go.
It was thought that you might be next if you saw yourself in the mirror at the house where somebody had recently died. So that's another reason why they covered them. To prevent bad luck, all clocks were stopped at the time of death. Which I didn't know it had anything to do with luck. I thought it was just because they were like,
I didn't even know they did that.
Yeah.
I knew the mirror thing. I did not know the clock thing.
I knew that there was like that superstition and like weird things like if somebody dies in their house, the clocks do stop like supernaturally. So I didn't know that it was like an actual thing that they used to practice, which is maybe why they kind of throw that in horror movies now. Like they die, the clock stops.
Because the spirits want it. They want to mark their time of death by fucking with the clocks.
Yeah, and somewhat creepily, Victorians turned family photographs face down to protect family and friends from possession by the spirit of the dead. So, like, they had these family portraits and they're just, like, tapping them down, like Clue. or whatever the fuck. What was that game?
Guess who?
Guess who? That's what it is.
Fuck, we played that with the horror people. Who gave somebody a Guess Who horror version?
Megan, shout out to Megan. She got me Guess Who horror version. We played it at my birthday last year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was cute. I enjoyed
But
that.
here you go, in the history of all podcasts, Jordan is done speaking already.
That was
That's
probably
it.
your quickest segments ever in the history of the podcast.
Literally a fart in the wind. That was my.
But all these superstitions, like, that's really cool and interesting. Like, I had no idea they even flipped the photographs.
I didn't know any of that stuff either. But like every time I tried to look up like in-depth things, they were just all short about superstition. So that's all I have.
But that's okay,
Thank you
because
for
that's
coming.
really interesting to think about. It's like, now next time I go to a funeral, hopefully it's not anytime soon, I'm gonna be like, in the funeral parlors themselves, do I ever remember seeing mirrors and clocks and pictures other than of the deceased?
Yeah.
So I don't think I do. So maybe
I don't think I've ever like
some of
paid
these
enough
things are
attention to
actually
that.
carried over into today.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, I am up next to talk about post-mortem photography. So, stay tuned. And we are back. You know the saying, take a picture, it'll last longer? Well, they kind of took this and ran with it back in the Victorian era. Death wasn't tucked away back then, quietly at night. It was preserved, framed, and photographed. Postmortem photography is when the dead were posed, immortalized, and sometimes even placed along the living, an unsettling scene frozen in time. In this time, death was everywhere. I mean, we talked about this. There was disease. There was very short lifespans.
Pre-vaccination.
And for many families, capturing that final moment wasn't a morbid indulgence. It was a necessary remembrance. And according to the Haunted Place blog, a fifth of children failed to reach the age of 5 in the 1830s and 40s. Out of this brutal reality emerged a collision of technology, faith, and mourning. So for a lot of families, since the children were so young when they died, the dead photograph was the only photograph they had. Mm-hmm. That's all they had.
Yeah, you didn't have like a smartphone in your pocket.
No.
You know?
I have a feeling this is going to get really sad, and I'm already sad. You're going to bring me down.
Yeah, it's gonna. There's so many dead kids.
It's so sad to think about.
So many.
It is.
Never had it.
And I'm going to show you some scenes from this book.
I'm not looking.
Just so you can see what I'm talking about. But we're in a time when photography has started to advance. And so for the first time, families, no matter what social bracket you were in, could afford having a tangible photograph of your family. Mm-hmm. And so taking a photograph of the dead just became the norm, because for a lot of people, this was the only photograph you actually even had.
Yeah, and like this is contemporary with the Civil War too, so that's really when photography started becoming available for like you said, for the common person.
Yeah, exactly. Now, why photograph the dead, other than just this is the only picture of them? It might feel grotesque today, but Victorians had a reason. They believed in, quote-unquote, good death. One witnessed, calm, with affairs settled, and loved ones present. This is what they believed was a good death. And so this is why we talked about all the things that these two ladies just talked about. That is a good death.
Yeah, it was kind of like a value to die at home.
Yeah, and to have loved ones around you, and to have your affairs settled, and for it to be calm, and for you to actually do all these rituals, and that was what was considered a good death, and they embraced it.
Because what other option is there,
Yeah. And the photograph kind of became the ultimate memento mori. Remember that you must die. A physical proof, not only of life ended, but of love preserved.
I have a question, quick. A sidebar. What happens if they died of a sickness? Did they still have everybody in the house? Like they didn't really care that they died of sickness?
I think
that is
it just popped into my head right now.
It kind of depends. I mean,
because this was was this plague?
But I think it's also kind of a pre-germ theory.
Yeah, I was
people
thinking about it. I'm like, this is they didn't really know what tuberculosis was then.
Yeah, they
It's so long ago.
Like, people were still like, because I read, what did I read? It's The Butchering Art by Dr. Lindsay Fitzharris, and they were talking about Victorian surgery, like, as a concept, where people would not wash equipment in between surgeries. Or they'd, like, saw up a corpse in an anatomy lab.
And they're covered in blood and just on to the next.
Yeah,
exactly.
It was like seen as a positive thing to be very bloody after a surgery, or to have that good old-fashioned hospital stink. So you would be covered in, like, rotting flesh.
I have to do research. Now I'm like,
Yeah, well,
Dude,
here we go, deep dive until midnight tonight.
If they did
The Butchering
die
Art.
of a disease,
I'm
were they
curious
kept separately? Did they still do all this stuff? Like,
Or if, like,
not.
did they cause, like, mini, like, outbreaks? Like,
there
in
might
the
have been.
households?
Like, I mean, maybe if somebody died of, like, cholera or something, they just go, like, right into a hole.
Yeah, I wonder
yeah,
if
they'd
they,
probably
like,
skip all the practices.
there'd be...
That wouldn't be considered a good death then, in their eyes anyway.
Yeah.
Interesting,
So-
okay. Sorry, that just
And I
popped in my
know
head.
during this time we did have the the term "Saved by the Bell."
Yeah.
There were some things that
That made them, like, their heart.
think that they were dead, but they weren't, and you just buried someone alive.
So they've got, like, the little, you can, like, wiggle your toe, which is attached to a little bell that'll ring above your grave, and the cemetery...
Hopefully someone hears it in a decent amount of time.
I feel like I used to remember what that was called, where it was like you were, like, damn near in a coma, and it caused your heart rate to slow so much that people thought you were dead.
Right.
Back in the day. It probably happens now, too, but obviously people catch it now before you get buried.
But back to photographs.
Sorry.
As I said, a lot of people lost children. This might have been the only thing that they had to have, a photograph of their children, even though they're deceased. But families gathered. Sometimes there'd be images of families were gathered around the deceased, standing open coffins. Later, images became more lifelike. The deceased posed in chairs, propped with stands. Starting in the 19th century, postmortem photography feels different than looking at a family photo today, or even a family photo back then in particular. The eyes of the subjects, remarkably sharp, sometimes unnaturally so.
Sometimes they were painted on.
Sometimes either the eyes were forced open, or sometimes they were forced closed, and they'd be paint on eyes. But what happens in this time is that exposures back then were,
very long.
Very long, a couple minutes. So you'll see portraits of families from that time, and they're kind of a little bit out of focus, a little, softer, and it's because a long exposure time, you can't expect someone to stay perfectly still for a couple of minutes. But who can stay perfectly still?
A dead person.
The deceased. So in some of these photographs, the deceased person is more clear and sharper than the living people around them.
Interesting.
It creates a very eerie image. It's almost like the dead is actually more alive than the people around them. And I think I could understand taking a picture of a dead person as a keepsake, but to the point where the family gathers around to take a picture with the dead body, I think that's where I draw the line.
Yeah, I don't know. Because we're socialized that way.
They're just posed with, Grandpa Joe, everyone around, they're
like
all
so morbid.
just there, and then there's Grandpa Joe, dead in a chair.
If somebody, it's not something that I would be, personally inclined to do, but I think that, say if my mother wanted me to do it or something, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'll do this. I'm not, it's not beneath me or anything. I would still do it. I'm not too freaked out.
You're making me want to put, in my will, do not take pictures of my dead body.
Oh, my God.
Don't photograph me, and don't stand next to me either.
I don't know if I showed it to you, but I was shooting a house once, and it was totally cleaned out. The family had cleaned it all out, and the only thing was in the driveway. I guess they had dropped it or missed it, but there was one photo abandoned in the driveway. And I pick it up and I flip it over, and it's like an old guy in a coffin.
Oh man, they actually had one.
Yeah, they
Wow.
did. I mean, it wasn't like Victorian. It was from like fucking 1975.
Still.
The guy was wearing a little bow tie. But
Maybe they were like, we want to keep up with these customs. These are like, maybe they're just interested.
yeah, so people still do it.
Yeah.
There are still modern photographers who do like usually it's like babies too.
Yeah.
You know, it's always,
Because that's probably the only
and
picture
it's so,
they have.
and it's so traumatic for people, you know, to lose a kid.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
there are definitely photographers that I follow who are like, yeah, I do end of life photography, I do post-mortem stuff for, you know, the bereaved. So sometimes it's shit that people want, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes people want an image.
If they want it,
Yeah, people
do it.
take photos of their lunch.
But I just don't understand. To me, the line draws of the living with the dead body.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want
They're
that.
cheap.
I
Did
don't
you
know
say
if I
people
want that.
take pictures with their lunch?
Yeah, people take pictures of their lunch. Why not? You know, like,
She compared lunch to a dead
I was
body.
gonna let it go, but now I'm just like, fuck
no,
Anna.
no. It's like that. Taking a photo of your lunch is just one of those things that's completely meaningless.
Yeah,
Totally
yeah.
Meaningless but normal.
Like, do I really want to remember this sandwich 5 years from now? I fucking don't.
Unless it's the tuna salad sandwich from Mock Scoot. I want to remember that till the day I die.
There you go.
I love that fucking sandwich. Okay, go.
All right.
Here we go, Justin.
But we had some very specific poses that they'd use for these photographs. The sleeping pose, obviously, the dead, reclined, eyes closed, as if resting. The lifelike pose, eyes open, sometimes set painted on, dressed in clothes, and either surrounded by family or just kind of, you know, propped up in a chair. And like I said, the family portrait, which is either surrounded by, sometimes they took it surrounding the coffin, or sometimes literally placed among the living, and you're literally shoulder to shoulder with, you know, dead grandpa.
That's wild.
I'm going to show you ladies some of these pictures. You've seen some of these. already.
I looked at the
I'll put
whole
some of these in
book.
the episode, but the book is Beyond the Dark Veil, and it's all about post-mortem photography.
Yeah, if you're
It's such
if
a
you're
pretty
like
book.
a parent, then you might not want to look at this because there's a lot of dead.
And
Wait, that's a dead
here's the
person?
thing. They don't even look dead.
That doesn't even
and a
look
lot
like
of
that
the
person.
time,
Like they
they're so
They
crisp.
don't.
That's crazy.
I mean, there are some in here where you're like,
There's
oh,
some in here
that
like,
guy's obviously
you know that guy's dead.
like sometimes they, you know, you can tell they've been sitting
A
while,
little bit.
and they start to look.
It looks like he's
sunken.
sick in the bed. He doesn't. They don't really look
But
dead.
here's
to me.
here's what I'm talking about. This one's creepy. I know it's a child and this is sad, but when I show you this, look how sharp the dead child is, and look how out of focus the mother is.
Okay. I see.
You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It makes them eerily look so much more lifelike than the actual living, which I think is the wildest part.
Yeah, it's almost like a soft focus on the living
crazy.
person.
But it's because of these long exposures, and the dead can stay still, but the living can't.
It's kind of
The
eerie.
living
to
gotta
see
like
that
blink
picture of a
and
dead
breathe.
person.
Oh, that one's sad.
Aw.
That made me
Yeah,
sad.
there's a lot of children and babies in this book, which is
Yeah,
which
that
is
made me
unfortunate.
sad. It all made me real sad. And there was talking about the long exposure time again. There's a couple in there, and I was reading like the blurbs beneath the photos, and they were talking about how in some of them you can
There's a
see
clipboard.
on the faces.
Yeah, I want to see.
Some of the corpses have like leakage from the nose or from the mouth, which is another, I guess, artifact of the long exposure.
Yeah,
time.
because they had to be propped in a certain way, and stuff leaks, like you said, and dead bodies, stuff
it's-
leaks.
Decomp happens, man.
Yeah.
Like, people do be rotten.
I do see in some of the photographs that looks like some of the bodies have been embalmed, and then they took the photos. But some of them, they look like they died that morning.
Yeah, some of them it's very
Yeah.
they're very
Yeah. But like I said, look closely, and you'll know who's dead and who's alive, and you can literally, all the stuff that we point out, because we're photographers, we know. You can look at those things, you definitely can tell which
Oh
one
hell no,
is.
we ain't looking at the dogs. No.
Oh my god,
I can't handle it.
Some of those made me so sad.
Yeah, it's a pretty dark book, very interesting, and it's like morbidly beautiful at the same time.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
and these were they're somebody's keepsakes. You know, they're images that were meant to be very private, that we've had the privilege of having been shared with us, you know. So it's like, it's an honor, I suppose, even if it makes me fucking sad as shit.
So that is kind of the history of post-mortem photography, and it was done almost for everyone back then, because that's what they did.
There are some in there too that I was looking at where they have like either it's a child, right, or maybe and there's somebody behind a sheet holding them up.
Either someone had to hold them up, or they literally had like stands, and sometimes you can see either like, you know, the boards or the whatever's holding them up, because they had to be propped. They can't just do it themselves.
Yep.
So sometimes you will see that kind of stuff too.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do that.
How do you hold?
I don't know if I would be able to do that.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I mean, I guess it would have to be one of those things like if it would happen to me.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, I guess, I mean, it's probably less weird to do if it's already something that has a cultural
like
norm.
I guess I could understand if like you have like a stillbirth, and obviously like that's the only time you're gonna see the child that you birthed. Like I could get that.
There's one in there where it's like the mother and the child both passed during like a difficult birth, and I'm like, oh my god, is that it?
Is it this one? Yeah, together in death.
Yeah. So imagine yourself in a cramped Victorian home, candlelight flickering, the air is heavy with mourning. A photographer arrives. The corpse is dressed, the families gather, flash goes off, one last image, frozen in time forever. And although it's over a century later, those captured moments continue to speak. They whisper of love and loss and echoes of what was left behind in a culture that embraced death in a way that we no longer do.
That puts a little pin in it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Let's put a little pin. Okay, so on this sad, morbid pin, we're going to take a quick break. Jordan, I suggest you stop looking at that. It's pretty upsetting. I will include some pictures in here. And I wonder what I could I wonder, like, how I would even tell these people that have been photographed in this book, these dead people, that you are now on a podcast.
Oh, man.
And they are now in a book.
They are.
Yes. On that note, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. We have a follow-up spooky fan story, so stay tuned. It's pretty cool.
If you're loving the Ghost Encounters podcast, be sure to hit subscribe and drop us a 5-star rating. Stay connected with us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Ghost Encounters PA. For haunted merch, head over to ghost-encounters.com and check out the Spooky Shop for all our exclusive items. Want to unlock the full Ghost Encounters experience? Become a spooky VIP on Patreon. With your membership, you'll get ad-free episodes, early access, discounts on exclusive merch, and bonus content that brings you closer to the mysteries and the macabre that we explore. Ready to join our haunted community and jump into the shadows? Visit patreon.com/Ghost Encounters Podcast and take your place among the VIPs of the paranormal.
Here's a hauntingly good drink to pair while you listen to Ghost Encounters podcast. It's mead from Colony Meadery, right here in the Lehigh Valley. Mead is alcohol made from honey, and Colony Meadery crafts one-of-a-kind meads from bold and flavorful to award-winning classics. Whether you like sweet, tart, zesty, or refreshing, they have a flavor to match anyone's taste. Discover your new favorite spirit at colonymeadery.com. Looking for a marketing company that's hauntingly effective? Well, Ghost Marketing Company provides expert white label marketing for your business. They bring your brand to life with social media management, eye-catching graphics, targeted ad campaigns, and stunning photography and video production. With Ghost Marketing, you get all the benefits of a marketing team without big agency pricing. It's so good, it's scary. Are you ready to grow your business? Visit ghostmarketingco.com. That's ghostmarketingco.com.
And we are back for a pretty cool spooky fan story that's got some video with it. So, Jordan, why don't you take it away?
Okay. So the fan story starts, hello, I'm sorry this is taking me so long to get back to you. I'm sorry it's taken us so long to read this.
That too.
We've been MIA for a little bit. My husband finally found some of the other videos, because she said in the previous one that she had videos to send me. I've attached 2 of them. In one, you will see our dog, Citations, I love that, leg get grabbed, and our other dog, Kilo, watching at the same time while no one was home. I love that they have such cool names for their dogs.
I know.
Citations and Kilo. My dog's name's Toby. But you can't get more boring than
Toby
that.
Tobe is adorable.
Okay. Then in the other videos, no one was home and our dog, Citation, went on a walk into the other room and you hear what sounds like somebody tapping on a window or something falling. So this is from Kat, or Sean's Aunt Kat, as she said in her last email.
Sean's Aunt Kat. I love that.
Yeah.
All right, let's watch these together.
Okay.
Here's the first one. Oh, what just happened there?
It did like a little funny dance.
Yeah, and then the dogs are looking back.
The dog's looking, that other dog's
All right, hold on,
looking.
let's play it again.
And then the second dog looks.
Yeah, something happened with his leg.
Because then he's walking fine up on the couch.
Yeah.
Somebody
and then
grabbed
they're
his
looking
little chicken
back.
leg.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm watching it again.
Definitely spooked him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You could definitely see his leg getting grabbed.
And then the way that he turns
back.
and looks back is kind
And
of
even
eerie.
the other dog.
Yeah.
Like, how
You know?
very dare.
Yeah, how dare you touch my leg? Okay, here's the other one then.
Oh, what was
Oh,
that?
yeah,
that
you
was
can hear it.
Oh, yeah, that was the sound the dog just reacted to the sound.
That's the same room, too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's watch it again.
right there.
He's like,
Yeah, it's 2 taps, it sounds
Yeah.
like.
All right, one more time. We did the other one 3 times. Let's do this one a 3rd time.
Okay, go back.
Is that a ring camera?
Yeah, it sounds kind of metally. Like,
Yeah.
you don't see anything fall.
No.
But yeah, that's definitely creepy. Honestly,
Very cool.
Especially since it's on like camera and you can't see anything happening, but the dog clearly looks like.
Oh yeah, and pets can totally sense this stuff
They
way
always
better than
know.
we can. They always can.
They always know.
You know, like you said in your old house, Sadie would react.
Yeah, Sadie would she would stop and stare into the corners, or she'd growl into the fireplace and stuff. She did weird shit. She
didn't do that at.
No,
5202.
no.
She
When
didn't
we
do
moved,
that.
yeah, when we moved into, we had a fireplace that you could clearly, she could see her reflection in, and she did not growl. So what we thought kind of was that in our old house, she may have saw somebody in the reflection with her and growled at them through the fireplace. But when we moved into the new house, she never did that.
Yeah, no, she didn't.
So she wasn't growling at herself. Let's just say that.
Very cool. I like that we are getting spooky fan stories with video elements. I think that's freaking awesome. That way we can get to see it. The listeners and viewers get to see it. For those of you who are not watching, I suggest you go to Spotify and watch, because this stuff is really cool. We do put these episodes on YouTube a little bit later. So if you don't have the ability to watch, like if you're just listening on Apple Podcasts or something, you can go back to YouTube and watch all these episodes. So you can see the pictures and the video elements that we've incorporated.
All the extra content.
Yes.
Plus, we're cute.
I mean,
Plus, we're cute.
we're this good-looking group. You know what I mean? That's probably why the dead love us so much.
Yeah.
Yep, well, that's true.
And as always, thank you all so much for listening and watching. It means a lot. Our October has been so incredibly busy, but we're going to keep up with content for you. Again, go to YouTube and watch the Hanoverville Roadhouse investigation episode, because it is wild. It's also great. The quality is outstanding.
Yeah.
Netflix, Discovery Channel, pick us up.
Call us. Zach Baggins. Call us.
We can do without it. But yeah, thank you so much. Give us 5 stars wherever you're listening. It helps. Share it around.
We need spooky fan stories.
Can't share with your deceased loved ones, but you can share with your live ones.
I mean, you can try.
You can try.
And yeah, spooky fan stories. We need more spooky fan stories. We met a lot of people at a lot of like previous events and stuff that we've been at and stuff that we've done, and people kept saying they were going to write in, and they didn't. They lied.
They lied.
Or they forgot.
Who are you?
So Write in. Give us your spooky fan stories. You can shoot us an email. You can send us a message on social. You can write us a letter. I don't care. Just send us your spooky fan stories.
It's the Victorian era snail mail.
And they don't have to be long. You know, this wasn't long, but it had some video elements with it.
Yeah.
Then it could be about anything. It could be creepy dreams. It could be...
Yeah.
We're still waiting for an alien one. We've been saying this for a long time.
Or Sasquatch.
Or Sam Squanch. Yes.
Sam Squanch.
Well, Mothman would be great.
Have you
Mothman
seen
would be
the
cool.
squonk?
I
want to know.
Well, if they try to capture it, it evaporated into a puddle of
Dissolves
tears.
into tears, yes.
Hashtag Sam.
Yeah.
Hashtag Sam.
Well, I love you girls. This is fantastic and lovely. I always enjoy these podcasts.
Love you too.
Love all the fans. Write into us, even if you just have suggestions, whatever, we want to hear from you. We get messages from people once in a while, but, well, that's all the time we have for today. Stay spooky.
Can somebody please make me funeral cookies?
And wipe your nose, you got a little schmutz.
Oh,
Oh my god.
It's a sick shit, 24/7, baby.
done.
We're out.